All right. So the next part is be sure in who you are and whose you are. And again, like I said, those words that that person said, I didn't realize it because I had so much going on in my life that I didn't have time. Positive things going on in my life. And then when I, took a moment again, I didn't realize it was replaying itself back in my subconscious, and it manifests itself to be true, even though it wasn't before then. And this Bible class that I went to was so prophetic because I guess I don't know if that female went to these places and said things sideways and people caught on, because I hadn't been out to that place in a while, and the only thing I've been doing is here and my all the follow up stuff on my jobs and stuff like that. And the one woman, she was like, and don't, and I'll get to this in here, but it was just so, she was like, don't let people say things about you and make them true, because I guess maybe she could see it, or maybe she's heard, because some people are smarter than the average bear and they see through stuff. And I don't know what happened, but something happened, and I don't know what it was. And it wasn't me directly, or it could be pure coincidences, because I've had some pure coincidences in my life too. So but anyways, be sure in who you are and in whose you are, and be sure in who you are and whose you are. A lot of times we look for other people to validate us. Previously in my life, I have not been one of those people. But what happens, the opposite happens when you don't have any at all. Somebody else can create you into who they want you to be, simply by the power of words, if you're at a place of vulnerability. And when you're alone and you don't have, friends or family, you are very vulnerable because what people say, it does impact you. You don't realize it at first, because this was just a total aha moment for me. I didn't realize it at all until after the fact, because I was so busy. But it did impact me, because even though I had to focus my mind just like a computer does on all the things that are in the present or before me, in the back of my mind, that's replaying. And the moment that you have a moment to yourself, it pops up to the front of the mind like, hey, I'm still here. You know, so that's one of the things that I definitely need to manage and deal with. It showed itself so many times yesterday. I came back, and because of that situation with that woman that I was telling y'all about, and I didn't get into detail about it because there was some really nasty things that she said that really, like I said, just popped up. But I came back, and I've been using the owner's restroom, and he asked me, and it was, to me, it was the oddest question, because I was like, what in the world, where is that coming from? He asked me if I used his toothpaste, and I was just like, no, what are you talking about? And so I'm thinking to myself, oh Lord, what is going on now? No, I have not used your toothpaste, and I'm just like, no, I don't touch anything. And then I started getting fearful, because I'm like, all that stuff that's going on with that girl, I don't know if she said something to him to make him feel a certain type of way, blah, blah, blah. And that wasn't the case at all. And it's just like, and that's what I'm gonna say about what things say, things that people say. She said something, some real nasty stuff with nasty things, maybe a week or so ago. And I normally would not expose myself to that. The situation kind of tricked me into that, and like I said, maybe it's all God's doing, because He wanted me to see and learn some things, and about the different types of people and how to deal with these folks. Because I was just like, what? But it turned out that, and all she did was that one thing. It's like, this woman called it a dump and run. She shitted on me and she ran and left me to clean up the mess. And the stink and the stench is there long after. And so and the person picks up and doesn't even acknowledge it at all. But then you're continuously acknowledging, because you were the person that was attacked. So you're acknowledging this, and you're just like, oh, whatever, this, that, and the other. And so I have to learn to be stronger in those terms. The way that I was raised as a woman, a female, that there's always going to be somebody to take care of you and this, that, and the other. But there is nobody. And I realized that a long time ago. So I'm learning that, nobody's going to come to your defense. Nobody's going to come to your honor. People are always choosing the side that's winning. But in this situation, it was the weirdest thing, because I was like, why would he ask me that? Why would he even think that I would do something like that? Did this girl say something to him? Or, again, people get lonely in one friendship. Did he go to her and say something to her? I was like, what in the world is going on? So what the situation turned out to be was, I guess I used, and then, because I like to get to the bottom of it. Because if I don't like get to the bottom of it and find out what's going on, then that's what he's gonna think, that I used his toothpaste and I decided not to say anything. And I was thinking like, why would he think that, And so I was like, I didn't know what was going on. So I was like, well, I just recently bought like two new things of toothpaste. So I was like, well, I have two different toothpastes. Why would I use yours? And I was like, here, let me show you. So when I showed him the toothpaste, he was like, well, and I guess he didn't want to say that's mine, but he said that's the one that I use. And I was like, oh, okay. And then my mind started thinking, I was like, wait a minute, maybe I picked his up by mistake. But I was like, that's the same one that I bought. So I went in my room and I looked and I found my toothpaste, which looks exactly like his toothpaste, except mine is tartar control and his is baking soda, something else, another. And I was like, oh, okay, wow. And I was like, but I don't know which one is yours. Because at first I didn't think of look at the tartar control and all that. And then he was like, oh, it doesn't matter. And he was like, oh, if you want to use my toothpaste, you can use it. Just don't take the whole thing. And I'm like, I didn't use your toothpaste. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't use your toothpaste. And then I'm just like, well, I don't know which one is mine. He's like, oh, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, it does matter because I want mine to be mine and his to be his. And I'm looking and I'm like, okay, tartar control would have been the one I got because I don't think they had the baking soda. If they did, I would have bought it. So it was just that whole thing, because it stemmed from that. And so how did that make me look? It made me look crazy. But I mean, it was a rational thing to it all, but that's what it made me look. That's what it seemed like. Because first of all, the fact that you would even ask somebody if they use your toothpaste, it makes me look indigent. It makes me look crazy. Okay. So we addressed that. We found out that it wasn't, and we found out there was a logical reason to it. But the fact that I mentioned what that girl said, because it all ties in. There's a kernel of truth in everything, and I'm gonna say this because what is what the truth about this whole matter is, the kernel of the truth is that there is a certain that I'm not liked. Basically to put it simple, that I'm not. You know what I'm saying? That maybe won't say not liked because that takes it to a personal level, but I don't have that type of relationship. There may be one person that really doesn't have anything good to say about me, and there may be someone else that would concede it. And this is what we talked about in this class too. If you stand there and you let someone say something negative, and you stand and you listen to it and you take it in, you're agreeing with it, just by your presence, and I haven't gotten to that point yet where I want to, where, because I'm gonna address that in here, but you're agreeing with it just with your presence, just the fact that you're sitting and listening and giving them an opportunity to say these things, you know but anyhow, so that shows you how much of an impact that what that woman said had on me. you know so I have to change that. I have to change being so malleable, allowing what people say to affect me that way. I didn't even know that it affected me because I was so busy. I didn't have time to think about it. Literally busy every single second. Didn't have time to eat barely. Okay. So but and it was in a situation, could I have avoided it? I could have avoided it by being rude, but I wasn't gonna do that. The person made an exclamation that she was in distress about something, so I went to go see what it was about, and it was absolutely nothing, something that was completely made up. And then when I addressed that and I left, she found another reason to pull me in, and being not rude, I came, and then I realized what was going on too late after all of her process went through. And I thought, and it wasn't over then because it still has lingering effect on me. So that's something that I'm gonna deal with and address. But anyhow, so the first portion was tongue fasting. Your words can build you up or tear you down. Then I read Ephesians 4:29. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto others. Do people feel better about themselves after spending time with you? No. But and then this section was supposed to be about be sure in who you are and whose you are. We are, and that's the thing that when I talked about what happened with the owner, validation. I felt a need to validate. And the thing is, it's okay to do that because you have to bring the truth out, because if not, all that stuff builds up and people have stuff to talk about. But also the part that I did wrong, I should not have mentioned that other situation, because But it was good for me because I realized that it definitely did have an impact on me, and it was something that affected me very negatively. And here, the next portion is truth. Always be proud of each and everything you do, and that was my saying, and I believe in that. I believe in sincere truth and being proud of each and everything you do. Um, like I said, and I guess I can forget about before the legal, because the legal thing has been 10 years now, and is always here with me. Before then, and I miss the old me, and that was supposed to be my goal for 2016, is to get back to, the tenets of the old me. I used to be 190% honest, but now I'm not as honest as I used to be. I'm about maybe 89%, between 89 and 90, because I realized that I need to survive. And I also realized that, I need to build up my spirit, my heart, my soul, my mind. And a lot of times people will see that you need that, and they may have resources and things like that, mentally, spiritually, socially, that are just readily available to assist, but because they may not like you or the type of person you are, they will hold that back from you. And so you have to learn, you have to grow. And so in terms of those things, yeah, I'm not perfect, because I understand that those are needs that I have. I'm deficient in that, and so I'm working on building on those things. So, but I am always proud of each and everything that I do. I am. I am. Because I have an understanding, of what I do, and what I do is it's always for a goal to try to improve myself or better myself, or at least break everything down so I can build it back up. Focus on your assets versus your shortcomings. Because if you focus on your shortcoming, and this is what I need to work on too, they were just preaching to me all around. If you focus so much on your shortcomings, which I always do, because I feel like you have to know what you are missing in order to improve on it, but sometimes you miss out on the great things about you, because you'll focus so much on the bad things about you. So that's another opportunity. So I'm going to try to say 10 things that I like about me. 10 things, 10 my 10 biggest assets. So I'm going to do that when I get a chance. Also, be confident in who you are. Be who you were created to be. That's very important. We're all created for a purpose and a reason. And be confident in your purpose. It says, do not try to emulate other women. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't try to emulate other women, but there's things that sometimes the people that you hate the most, or that's the biggest thorn in your side, are because there are things in them that you admire the most. Like that person that spoke of admiring the ability to make people feel better about themselves when they leave you. But I don't like it in a manipulative way. A lot of people do that in a manipulative way. But the fact that you can still smile and pull people in, that's something that I admire. Now, I do love Beyonce. I don't try to emulate her. I think that I can be better if I get my body together, and that's not out of any disrespect. My body together and my situation together, my spirit together. But I do like her. I don't emulate anyone though. Don't let someone speak that into your life. And I've let that woman that I talked about, I let her speak those things into my life. She basically said, and she probably said more than this. It was three major things that I remember. I'll go into that later. But I let her speak that into my life. I did. I let her speak it into my life, and it became true. And I did, and it's because, again, I allowed it to play into the backdrop while I was focused on the other stuff I was working. You don't have to put your mouth on everybody and everything. Yeah, you don't have to speak on everything. Be a cheerleader and a coach. I believe in that. I'm trying to cheerlead and coach myself first. So I've got a lot of work to work on. People, and this is my saying that I got a long time ago from public school. Some people tend to live up or down to your expectations. I believe that's true. So I always try to believe the best about everybody, and I need to make sure that's true. Even when people hurt me, I need to try to do that, because if not, it affects you. Loving each other, I guess, is just something we're supposed to do. Um, and then, always we're supposed to go to people in love. So whenever we go to people, make sure we're going in love. I think that Spanish Man, that's what he was trying to do. Don't fix others, fix yourself. That's true. I'm trying my best to fix myself. Accept people for who they are. I let them be who they are, but I don't know if I necessarily accept. You only have them for a season, so appreciate people for who they are. You can always find the good in everybody, is what they were saying. And I don't can't see what else is here. I have to try to make it out, but my time is up on this one.